Today, I'm just going to introduce this question so that you can look at it in a different light. No matter who you are, every single one of us here is human. And as part of being a human being, the reality of this question is something you can't avoid. But before that, let me ask you just small things. If someone asks you why you eat, you have a pretty immediate answer, right? I eat because I need nutrition, or the food is tasty, like that red velvet over there. If someone asks you, why do you sleep? Another immediate answer, for rest, or I'm just bored. But if someone asks you why you're living, or why you're here, the purpose of life, it's interesting because every single one of us here, and that itself, living, if someone asks you why you're living, why is it that people say, there's different answers? Why are people confused? I was telling my friend that I was going to talk about this topic today, and my friend said, that's so vague. Like, why would you talk, what's there to say about it? Like, where do you start from? But inshallah today, I'm just going to go through with it little by little. 20 minutes is a short time, but hopefully inshallah I could do the purpose of at least enlightening you, maybe a little. So anyway, let's take a glass and you put it upside down and you pour water, you try to pour water into the glass. Do you think water will go into the glass that's upside down?
If there's a hole in it.
Let's say there's no hole.
Then no.
So no matter how much you pour into it, water won't go in.
There's no such thing.
And when you're, eating soup, would you ever use a fork? No. In fact, if the fork could speak, it would probably call you a fool, like a blocker. You should use a spoon instead.
Pablo, wrong emissary.
But why? Because a fork has a different purpose. Because the glass, in order to hold water, which is its purpose, is to be right side up. And right here in this life, we have a lot of things. We're not strong like many animals out there. We're not fast like a cheetah. We're not aggressive like a bear. In fact, us human beings are very simple. But it's often the simplicity that we overlook. You see, man has eyes. Can the camera ever surpass the eyes? See, the camera you have to adjust sometimes, manually. The eyes, you don't do anything for it. It's given to you for granted. Man has legs, and we created wheels. And in a book I'm reading right now, it's called How the Mind Works, it's stated that one of the greatest inventions of mankind has been the wheels. And because nature never produced an organism that had wheels, nature cannot solve the basic question of engineering. Because of wheels, we have cars, rolling around, getting us places, getting us stuck sometimes in traffic. But the simple legs, in whatever terrain, the leg automatically adjusts. By series of angles and different adjustments that even you overlook, it does it on its own. In fact, it's granted for you. And it's often said that walking with two legs is an accident in nature, because all you're doing is breaking your fall and adjusting yourself over and over. I don't see a wheel going up a ladder, do I? And man has hands, but we created tools. Hammers, fork, as I mentioned before, spoons. And a Greek philosopher, within the same book I read, he said that the hand has been created as if it's meant for many things. If you want to scoop up water, instead of taking a spoon, you could make your hands into a spoon. If you want to hold chopsticks. Just 3 fingers is enough to hold 2 sticks. If you want to hold a big, just simply position your hands like this and lifting it. That's a job. It's as if that your hand has been designed for many things, that it can satisfy a lot of things that you have, that you need to go through in this life. And the human body itself is a wonder. From there you have different types of martial arts and sports that develop. But why do we have this? What's the point? You could ask a lot of questions, and eventually, because we're all in this deen, if not, it doesn't matter if you're in the deen, eventually you get to a point where you say, either it's from a higher being or, I don't know. Well, let's put that higher being into the picture. Let's say that God created you this way. Why would he create you like this? Through the examples and comparisons I gave you, I've proven to you that what you have already is far better than any inventions a human being can make. No matter how hard you try to make a robot, the robot's view will not be what you see, but rather just digits of numbers, signifying the values of brightness and the color contrast. The higher the number, the brighter it is. The lower the number, the darker it is. And God gave you this. But wait, is there really a God? A lot of people out there will advise you that you're in this life, live for the moment. Go to the bar, do whatever you want. Who's stopping you? In fact, we can do whatever we want. But have you noticed that a lot of people out there who have a lot of money, celebrities, people who are idolized and shown in many ads, TVs, they made a cologne after Justin Bieber. That's just crazy. But these people over here, are they all happy? Really? Are they really happy? Behind that smiling face, what's there? And it's often said that suicide is very high amongst the rich people. People who are considered the most successful men and individuals in this world. And in Islam, you have the successful individuals having to live in caves. For example, Prophet ﷺ, he had to live in a cave while he was, heading towards Medina. He had to hide in it. And we often see that anyone getting kicked out of their houses is a failure. And Ibrahim ﷺ was kicked out of his own house by his own father for not worshipping idols. People say that a big house will signify that you attained full realization of and completed your potential in this life. Who had the biggest crib in Egypt in Pharaoh's time? Pharaoh himself, right? What does this tell you? It tells you that what you think is success, what you think is awesome, is good, does not address to the actual purpose you're here. See, if you actually fulfilled your purpose in life, then you wouldn't be miserable. If you were created for a purpose, for a specific reason, and you fulfilled that, then you fulfilled a reason behind your own existence. That you use a spoon for soup. If you don't use a spoon for soup and you try to use a fork, it won't work out. Or if you try to drive a car, the tires, you use the tires for that reason, so that the car can move. They fulfill their purposes. Had they not, then it would have been a lot more complicated. So those people, so let's say that there was no God, or you give the question, how do you know if there's a God? A lot of philosophers gave questions that said that this happened all by chance, by mere numbers, like you would see at a gambling center. But This question was given to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam by a very simple Arab Bedouin. The Bedouin asked, how do you know there is a God? And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he answered, the presence of dung is evidence that a camel was here. The presence of dung is an evidence that the camel was here. And the evidence of footprints in the sand, that's the evidence of a man was here. So the trees, the skies, the clouds, the cosmos, the planets, the black holes, all that you see around here, even your own two hands, are evidence that God was here. This was the answer of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It was good enough for the Bedouin. It's good enough for me too. So, let's say that there is a God, that you believe in a God. What's the next step? A similar example was given in the Quran by Ibrahim alayhi salam